MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving season, meeting with all of your family, friends, probably overindulging a little bit here and there, but now we're back. We're back to getting into the markets, and let's actually take a look at what happened in Asia overnight. The Japanese Nikkei shed about 0.1%, even though they had 6 sectors, what I would consider offensive sectors, ending up in the green. You had industrials, they were mixed, and this is where the pressure came in, was you saw that the industrials actually pulled back down about 0.3%, also healthcare down 0.3%, but you did see utilities. They were up 2%, and you had financials up around 0.9%. So that's where the relative strength came in. Early in the overnight session in Japan, the market was held back by the strength of the yen. The yen held up for most of the session. Pressure started to weigh on it. Dollar started to move. You started to see the dollar-yen pair got as high as 112.27, but now the currency hit a low right around 111.35. So you can see that the dollar strength did start to weigh on the yen. Yen had started to pull back. That held up the market a little bit, seeing that yen weakness. Mizuho Financial was the most notable large cap name, posted about a 1.2% gain. This is a stock that makes up about 1.28% of the ETF that I watch, EWJ, that I always mention. EWJ went out on Friday at 49.80. The weekly options are pricing in the potential for EWJ to move either up or down this week, about 78 cents or around 2%. Taking a look at Hong Kong, the Hang Seng added about 0.5%. You saw gaming and property names with the most strength, gaining roughly between 1.1% and 1.7%. Taking a look at EWH, the ETF that tracks the stocks in the Hang Seng that trades here in the United States, it settled at $20.99 on Friday. The monthly options that are expiring in mid-December, that's the third week in December, they're pricing in the potential for the stock to be either up or down between now and December expiration around 77 cents or 4% for the next basically 4 weeks. China's Shanghai Composite, there was some upside there, up about 0.5%. We did see that the People's Bank of Deputy Governor of China came out, said the yuan is still a strong currency, should stabilize soon. That was his commentary overnight. That helped boost industrials as well as some metal names. They were moving on to the upside. FXI, which is the ETF that I track that trades here in the U.S., that will track Chinese stocks on the Shanghai Composite, went out on Friday at $37.09. The weekly options that are expiring this Friday are pricing in the potential for FXI to move either up or down about 2.2% or around 84 cents. And then finally in Asia, we want to take a look at India's Sensex. Ticked up about 0.1%. You had financials leading the way. Most notable name is going to be ICICI Bank, as well as HDFC Bank. Those two did put some stress on the Sensex. They finished the day down 0.3% and down 2.8% respectively. Now, Axis Bank did buck this trend in financials. It did add about 0.3%. Those 3 names that I mentioned right there are roughly 10% of the ETF that I watch that tracks Indian stocks. It's an ETF that trades during our market hours here in the United States. It's EPI is the ticker symbol. It settled on Friday at 1992. Now the weekly options that are expiring on this Friday are pricing in the potential for this stock, EPI, to move about 2.5% or around 48 cents either up or down. Now taking a look at the early session over in Europe, Germany's DAX, it's given up about 0.9%. Right now, financials are weighing on the market. You have Commerzbank as well as Deutsche Bank down 3% and 2.4%. You also have exporters like Volkswagen, Daimler, and BMW all down between 0.8% and 1.4%. Now, the reason why is there is some uncertainty with the elections that are starting to kick off in Europe. The most notable one, which will have an outcome on November 4th, is going to be in Italy. The uncertainty is also showing up in the German bond market. The German 10-year Bund is now basically retraced all of its price losses that it's had since the November 8th election here in the United States. And currently you have the yield on the 10-year Bund down 6 basis points to around almost 0.2%. Where it was trading exactly before the election on November 8th. EWG is the ETF that tracks German stocks. Went out on Friday at 24.97. The weekly options are pricing in the potential for EWG to move this week either up or down or around 46 cents or around 1.8%. Now turning our attention to the UK FTSE, it's lower by 0.7% with consumer names under pressure. No notable large cap names, but the EWU, which is the ETF that tracks the stocks in the FTSE, went out on Friday at $30.29. Now the options are pricing in the potential for the stock to move about 1% either up or down. France's CAC, it's given up about 0.8% right now, mid-weakness amongst most components. Now financials are the most notable sector that is right now lagging, and you have a large cap name BNP Paribas down about 1.7%. Now, there is some notable news out on their election front. Former Prime Minister François Fillon won the Republican nomination in a runoff on Sunday. That means that he's going to face in the national election the National Front's Marine Le Pen in the 2017 general election. So there should be some volatility in France that's going to be arising over the next 3 to 4 weeks going into the election in 2017. EWQ is the ETF that I follow that tracks the French stocks. It went out on Friday at $23.37. The monthly options are pricing in the potential for the underlying to move about 5%. Or around 85 cents either up or down over the next 3 to 4 weeks. Now, finally looking at Italy. The MIB is the index that we take a look at for in Italy, and it's down about 1.4%. The relative weakness comes with the uncertainty of Sunday's, December 4th, constitutional referendum that the voters are basically going to see whether or not they're going to strip away some of the current country's Senate's powers as far as being able to make laws. This referendum right now, from the headlines that I have been seeing and the storylines that I've been reading, are most likely that this is going to fail as far as a referendum. If it doesn't, Prime Minister Renzi did say that if this does pass, that he would resign. Now, he's stepping back away from those statements, softening them a little bit. We'll have to see. But this has put not only Italy on a little bit of edge, but also other European nations, especially those that are having elections like France, and we also have Germany. EWI is the ETF that tracks Italian stocks. It went out on Friday at 21.29. The weekly options are pricing the potential for EWI to move either up or down this week, going into expiration Friday for these weekly options of around 49 cents or 2.2%. So you can see that we have a mixed market, mostly to the downside, and you're seeing that reflected also in the pre-markets here in the United States. You have the Dow Jones down about 54, where it's been all morning at 19,090. You have the Russell 2000 at 1345, down about 2.5. You have the NASDAQ at 4861.25, down about 7. And I'm also seeing that the S&P E-minis, now these are all the futures that I've been quoting, they're expiring in December. The S&Ps are at 2205.50, down about 575. These are the areas that they've been at most of the morning, and we're going to cover the opening bell at 9:30 Eastern time, so please join us. Till then, have a great trading day, and we'll see you at 9:30 Eastern for the opening bell.